Hi everyone, welcome to Quick Chat with Jay. I'm your host Jay. I want to talk about Megan. So I was one of the people who was very interested in seeing Megan ever since the first poster and the first trailer dropped because I felt like it was going to be a very fun movie to watch, and I was not disappointed when I saw it. So Megan is about this doll created by one of her main characters named Gemma, and she gives Megan as a gift to her niece named Katie, who ends up living with Gemma after her and her parents were involved in a car crash, and her parents unfortunately died. And Katie goes to live with Gemma, and during that process, I think it was to help Katie get through the situation that happened with her and her parents. She gifts Megan as a gift to Katie to help her with the grieving process, and I guess to just be a friend for Megan. So before Megan was given to Katie, this is something that Gemma was already working on. It's just that when we first saw like the presentation she gave to her boss about Megan, that there was an accident that happened, which resulted in Megan's head exploding, and her boss was like, "I already told you I didn't want you working on this project in the first place. Like I want it to be like 6 feet under. I already told you, just please be done with this." But Gemma gets I guess, some more encouragement to work on Megan after Katie moves in and she sees Gemma's other inventions, and Katie sees one of these inventions as like a big robot that she made. I can't remember the name of the robot, but Katie was like, "It would be cool if there were more toys made like this, especially one that could be your friend." And so Gemma, goes back and she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna work on this even more just so that I can create a toy that could be a friend for, kids around the world and like that." So she goes back. She creates Megan. It goes well this time, no exploding heads. And she allows Megan to live with her and Katie for the time being until they're actually going to make an announcement to say this is a new toy that'll be in the market. Also, before, like, this is the crazy thing about it because they said it's going to be a new toy on the market, but the toy is going to cost like, I think $10,000, which I was like, who in their right mind do you think is going to buy a toy for their child that costs $10,000, especially one that is AI and looks like Megan? But anyway, so after bringing Megan home with them, Katie and Megan grow a little bit closer, and also a directive, if you will, that Gemma gave to Megan was that you will protect Megan from any physical and emotional harm. And Megan takes that to heart in this movie. Uh, there's like a neighbor that they have, and with the neighbor, there's a dog, and the dog was like, first of all, like Gemma doesn't already care for the dog, and she was already like worried that it would hurt Katie. When Katie is outside playing, and she asks Megan like, "Did you see my arrow anywhere? Because I lost it." Megan goes over to the neighbor's yard because she sees it over there, and the dog comes up and starts like roughing up Megan, and unfortunately, within that situation, Katie goes over and she ends up getting bit by the dog. And it's not funny. I'm laughing because due to that happening later on, Megan, she goes there at night. She mimics the voice of the neighbor to tell the dog to come over, and she ends up killing the dog for biting Katie. And it's just crazy to me because I'm like, well, she did tell her to protect her from any physical or emotional harm, so she just got rid of the dog. Um, Let me tell you something. Like, it's so weird to see Megan do these things because there's one point in the film I was just like, where did she get the idea that it's okay to kill people, or where did she get these homicidal tendencies from? Because she I'll just go through a quick rundown. She kills the dog. She kills the neighbor. She kills a boy that was bullying Katie, and she kills Gemma's boss, and she also kills the assistant of Gemma's boss. Um, I have to say the one with the boy, like that's the one you see in a trailer where she's like running on, she's running on all fours, chasing after the boy. Like that one was just so strange to me, especially because like it was a point in the film where Gemma was telling Katie, like, I think you're getting a little bit too attached to her, and I'm going to take you to this camp. I think it was like a day camp, and she was like, I'm going to just take you there so that you're actually around real kids, and that you're not just going to be sitting around here with Megan all day, every day. But of course, Katie was like, no, I want Megan to be with me. That is my friend. That is my real friend. And she ends up agreeing, which I was like, that's kind of dumb. Like, why would you allow her to go out when one, this was something you weren't even supposed to create in the first place because your boss told you to cut it out. And two, is like you don't know how Megan would react around other people. Like so far throughout the movie, like when she saw other people, all she did was stare at them. And it would be like a cold, dead stare. But she allows Megan to go with Katie to this day camp, and at that day camp, that's when we meet the boy who's like horrible. Even his mom says like she has troubles with him. Like I think she told like the boy's mom told him to like fix up his coat or something, and he told her to f off, which is like that's just the craziest response to give back to anyone, especially your mom. But I mean, I feel bad for the boy because he was picking on Katie. He ended up actually like stabbing Katie like in the hand with something. Oh, it was like one of those plants that are like, sticky and stuff. I call them stickies. I can't remember exactly what it is. But he ends up like stabbing it through her hand, and that's where Megan like was like, okay, time to go into my objective with it, which is protecting um Katie from any physical harm, which is kind of like it's kind of after the fact. But she, she ends up like pulling the boy's ear off, and the boy he runs into traffic, and he it wasn't even traffic. He just ran out into the street, and that's when he got hit by that car and he died. And to and it's like okay, so Megan's just out here doing whatever she wants to do at this point in the movie. And as this is happening, I think Gemma's kind of getting a little bit more worried because one, it was the dog she first killed, then it was the boy she killed, then it came to be the neighbor. And one, I'm like, it's all too connected because all those are very close, and some like and then not only that, police started asking, like, okay, all these are connected with you. Like, why are you, what is it that you know all these people and it's always coming back to you? But through all of that, I mean, I'm gonna skip forward because I mean, basically at this point now in the movie, it's just now that um Gemma is kind of just like, okay, I kind of need to get rid of Megan because one, I feel like she's killing people, and two, she's too attached to my niece right now. I don't want Katie to rely on Megan too heavily. I feel like that's what it was at that point in time. So coming from that, she takes Megan back to the she takes Megan back to the lab, and she has her friends that she has at the lab try to like decommission her basically. But of course Megan was not having that. She tries to kill the two um friends, but that didn't work. And she the actually comes next is like the best scene. The one we've seen already, like in the trailers where she's dancing, like doing that thing. And so after that scene, like she's also like she meets the boss in the hallway, and she ends up killing him with the, oh, I forgot what it's called, but it's the thing you use to cut paper with. But she ends up killing the boss with that. She ends up killing the boss's assistant as well with that. Um, and then she makes her way back to Gemma's house so she can take care of her. So when she gets back to Gemma's house, she, there's basically a showdown, and there's something that she says to Gemma. Basically, she's just like, you were gonna like just decommission me and think that I wouldn't have a problem with that. And she's like, you killed people, Megan. Like that's the big problem. That's why I'm going to like decommission you. She's like, oh, big whoop that I kill people. But she tells her, she's like, the main thing is that you created a code, you put a code in me. You didn't even know what the code was, and you just expected me to figure it out on my own while I processed it. And I feel like that was I feel like she was trying to tell like that was a big mistake because you didn't even fully understand what you made, and now you're trying to just disconnect me from the world as if I don't exist, and I like that's it for me. So she was not cool with that. And two, she was like, also, I don't want you being around Katie. I feel like Katie and I need to be together, and I will be the one taking care of her if you don't comply with me. So that happens. Of course they fight. Uh um I I'm sorry. I don't know how to exactly wrap it up cuz I mean they fight. um there was this, I thought it was a pretty cool scene where it was like Katie, she puts on these gloves that can control the other robot that Megan, not Megan, I'm sorry, that Gemma has in her garage, and she beats Megan with it. Um but I don't think Megan is actually dead. And I say that because there's an assistant, um like a AI assistant for her home that Gemma made. And that was the last thing we saw on the screen before, credits came. And I feel like Megan uploaded herself um into the cloud, if you will, and that's where she is. So that is where the movie ends. I feel like they are gonna make a sequel. If they make a sequel, I will be right there watching it because I really did enjoy this movie. Like I said, I don't think that the movie was like, I don't think the movie's gonna take itself seriously anyway, just based off of the trailers that we got. And I think it embraced the silly side of it a little bit because it's like, yeah, this is a um doll that becomes homicidal and start killing a bunch of people. And I feel like they leaned into that with the movie, and I think that's what made it work. Because we've had stories like that before where it's like AI becomes a little bit too um aware of its surroundings. I mean, that's what it's supposed to do, but it becomes a little bit too aware, and it thinks that one of its main things it has to do is kill people. So I mean, it's a story that's been done before, but I just thought it was pretty fun to watch that story play out in a setting with these characters within this movie. That is my episode for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. You can follow me on my social media, and I hope you like and subscribe. And I hope you have a good week.